I finally got some free time to read some manga, and more importantly, some new and ongoing manga. Sort of. Most of these mangas are pretty good, some with only a few chapters out, others with a bit more, but they all have a solid beginning, and it makes me pretty mad how underrated they are. So instead of gatekeeping, I decided to make a video on it. And I won't go too much into detail because there isn't a lot of chapters out for these mangas, so keep that in mind. Now, I do need some people to talk with about these series, so feel free to give me your opinions on them in the comments. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the first manga on our list, and it's called sound my music and see the sounds I create. Sensou Kyoushitsu. This manga is about Ryuka, a 14-year-old boy who wants to be a musician, but he's a mercenary. Horn player who's a slave to his commander. That's not all, he's a freak who has a horn on his head. Ryuka feels like a genuine teen who was exposed to a lot of disturbing things. He's straightforward to everyone, even his commander. I hate everything except for playing the horn. Seeing countless corpses hanging down the trees, spears decorated with intestines, girls my age, yeah. When I sound my music and see the sounds I create, I'm spared from seeing all those disgusting sights. I want to train under a veteran horn player, and I want to attend a university and learn musical notation, because those things are actually worth something. Does that help you understand why I want to leave this place?
Say, Ryuka, hasn't your horn grown quite a bit?
Who gives a shit? This manga has sold itself to me. I was going into this manga headfirst not knowing what I'll end up reading, and it ended up having a compelling story and a really interesting world. It's one of the most refreshing fantasy mangas I have read in a while. I get tired of the generic isekai stuff. It immediately sets up the world's mysteries. There's superpowered people called Rami. Every other character has an end goal that they want to achieve, and they all have unique abilities, and they all have their own motivation. There's even politics that are actually interesting. But with all of this, there lies an overwhelming threat looming over everything. This manga is great, and I'm glad I finally read it. It has so much potential, it actually does what a fantasy needs to do. I'm not the smartest guy out there, but the power systems in the series need to be analyzed. There's no BS or anything, it's pretty straightforward and easy to follow. But the author makes everything creative and unique. Even though the power system is simple, everyone has their own way of using it. And every time Ryuka plays the trumpet, I can hear it. I can hear it. Does that make sense? No, but this manga manages to do that. Gokurakugai. This manga isn't exactly underrated, it's pretty popular and has a lot of people talking about it. But that's not going to stop me from talking about it, because I really enjoyed this manga and its characters. Look at this. I know I'm not the only one. Gokurakugai is a manga about two characters, Tao and Alma. They are called troubleshooters who work in a bustling red light district, and they take on any job that requires a solution, as long as they get paid. Pretty simple. But there are creatures called calamities. They are basically monsters that feed on people and the weak. And in this world, there's also beastmen that are humans and animal hybrids or mixes that are discriminated. You see, Tao and Alma have a lot of mystery surrounding them. They help the people that are passed by everybody every day. A little girl being ignored while searching for her lost friend, even a guy who just wants to vent about his dead grandpa. Others may have a hard time because of the many side stories, but for some reason I enjoy them. Maybe I'm weird, or maybe it's because in my life it's similar to these stories. I meet these people and I probably won't ever see them again. And for the little time I was with them, it was enough to make an impact on me. And even sometimes that impact helps me find a solution to some of the problems that I've been dealing with. What I think helps this manga a lot is that it's monthly, which is pretty sad but great at the same time. It has time to write and create a fleshed out story rather than it being rushed or not well thought out. The manga is doing a great job so far, and the dynamic between Tao and Alma is definitely the selling point. The two of them are very likable and have a deep history that I hope will be explained. This manga reminds me of one of my favorite mangas, Black Lagoon. Just like the Lagoon Company, they do anything for money or because they secretly want to. And there's plenty of action and great stories. Also, I love her character design. It's a waste of your life to continue having regrets. Live life to the fullest. Let's apologize on the other side when we die. The Witch and the Beast. Gaido was cursed by a witch. Man, I love her character design. She has the eyes of a beast and is known for rushing into things head on. Since she is cursed, she has a deep personal grudge against witches, and her partner, Ashef, who's a pretty refined gentleman that happens to carry a coffin on his back. He is the man in charge. He keeps Gaido in check. I can't pick who I like more. He's a calm-mannered man who is very patient compared to Gaido. Together they investigate everything that deals with magic and mysteries and crimes, all while looking for the witch who cursed Gaido. This manga does have an anime and it's pretty good, but of course, the manga is superior. Everything about the manga is truly special. The subtle world building, the slow-paced side stories, it's almost like a puzzle slowly coming together and we slowly start to see the main plot point come up. The world is so fascinating and the mystery around magic is great too. We see Ashef use magic to defeat and fight enemies. And then we see Gaido beat everyone with her bare hands. It's a perfect mix of everything. Maybe a bit slow pace, but nonetheless a great manga that I hope people will give more attention to. And if you don't read manga, watch the anime. Why are you watching this video? I know, Choujin X. I know, I said underrated, and maybe people might say that this is, but it's definitely popular and pretty well known. Sui Ishida is amazing and is a brilliant author and artist. I'm ashamed and mad at what they did to him, both the anime and the rushing of his manga. So I'm really glad that he has time to flesh out his ideas and his creativity. Choujin X is special. You know, whenever you read or watch a really good movie or manga or book, it's hard to put into words. I'm a huge fan of Tokyo Ghoul. I remember watching the anime when my friend recommended it to me in middle school. I remember watching the AMVs. Everything about it was great. So it's great to see the author continue his work in perfecting his craft. And trust me, I'm aware of how much I've been yapping, but I just had to get past that. This manga is about Tokyo, who slacks off in class and he has a great relationship with his friend Azuma, who is a complete opposite. He's strong and courageous. Together, they give out justice in their own town. However, there are Choujins that run around the world, superpowered creatures that both Tokyo and Azuma try to avoid. Until one night, the thug that they defeated a couple days back comes and turns into this. He ends up beating Tokyo and Azuma, but he doesn't stop there. He wants to kill them. So their only choice is to use a drug that turns people into Choujin. Hey, look, I found an animal just like Tokyo. Huh? A vulture? You can definitely see the resemblance and the hints of Tokyo Ghoul, and I'm not saying that Tokyo Ghoul will overshadow this manga, but I hope to see this manga surpass it, and so far it's been a really good read. The final manga on the list is Dear Anemone, and it's kinda hard to say where this will end up. It has one chapter out, and it is made by the assistant of my hero, or former assistant. The story follows a boy named Gaku who is sent to Galapagos Island. This island was bombed 10 years ago, and there are other volunteers with them. They're all sent to this island to investigate the disappearance of a military team. And of course they'll get money from doing this, but this island was described by Charles Darwin, who is primarily known as the architect of the theory of evolution by natural selection. Yeah, I looked that up, but it makes me sound smart, so I'm gonna just leave that there. This place is known as an evolutionary paradise, as the inhabiting animals have evolved independently of others around the world. It does sound like Hell's Paradise, and it does also sound like every horror island manga out there. But I see something in this manga. I may be wrong, and it may just be another cliche, but I have hope for it. Again, it has one chapter out, so I can't really say anything else without spoiling it. But it doesn't hold back on the gore. Maybe me saying My Hero might have scared you guys off. And check this manga out to see if you genuinely like it. Thanks for watching. I'm really glad that I picked up these mangas. They brought back my love for reading manga. I kind of got tired after a while, or a little drained. But I'm definitely hyped to read more manga. I might even read some of your guys' recommendations. Maybe.